Hello, Laura here from Embercombe. I'm the Rewilding Lead at Embercombe, and we're going to talk a bit about hedge laying today. So hedge laying is a traditional land practice whereby the stems of the trees and bushes in a hedge are partially cut through, and then the stem is laid down. And because it's only partially cut through, it stays alive, and you lay the stem down and then it reshoots along the length of the trunk of the plant. And here at Embercombe we did some hedge laying last winter. So you do the hedge laying in winter when the trees are dormant, and we have done some hedge laying along this track. So this is one of our main access tracks down to the accommodation village. And you can see here, we've stopped at this bit here because you can see these are some of the stems that have been laid down. And then from these, new shoots will grow up. And you can see this one at the top particularly has all these new shoots growing off it. And if we pan round, you can see the hedge behind us. This was all cut down in the winter and laid down, and you can see particularly on the willow, the really extraordinary amount of growth that we've had just since February. And the reason why we've done this is because these hedges were planted probably about 15 years ago here at Embercombe. So these hedges were planted with a traditional native hedge mix, and the plants are growing up. And if you look over here, this is the hedge on the other side. So this is what it looked like beforehand. And these plants are all doing really well and they're growing upwards. But over time, these will get taller and taller and taller, and all of they'll get thinner underneath, so the branches won't grow as much underneath. And what we'll end up with is a very long line of trees that are growing all very close to each other. By laying the trees down and letting them regenerate, we make the hedge thicker and stronger, and it provides a much denser cover underneath. And this provides all sorts of habitat for animals to move around in. Hedgehogs, small mammals will move around within the network of the hedge. And they're quite protected from predators under there. Also, by doing this, it means that as this regenerates, next autumn we'll have berries, nuts, seeds, and so we are regenerating the hedge, meaning that the forage and the flowers that come in the spring will be in greater abundance within the hedge, rather than just being up at the top with the canopy of the trees. What we've also chosen to do is leave some of the trees, so we didn't lay all of them, and we'll leave these to grow on to maturity, so that we also have these taller trees within the hedgerow, and that can provide a really great navigation system for bats, so they can move from our woodland down there along the hedgerow, and they use these trees that have been left taller to navigate their way around the environment. So there'll be all through the spring there'll be nectar through here, there'll be lots of insects being able to use it, and then as we move through the summer it offers cover. Then in the winter you've got the berries and the nuts and the seeds that the birds can feed on, and the mammals as well within the base of the hedge as well. So, and then obviously as these trees mature, they'll become mature trees, and birds can nest up in the tops of those canopies as well. So hedge laying for us is about regenerating the hedges that were planted here, so they're a man-made feature. It's about regenerating them, making them thicker, making them better for wildlife, and providing a habitat corridor through the site. So some people have asked me, is that rewilding? And I guess it depends on your definition of rewilding, but for us, in some areas of the site where this is an access track, we can't let this overgrow because we need access down to our accommodation, and so it feels right for us to apply some of these traditional land-based practices on the hedges that are closer to our people areas, if you like. And some of those hedges that are out in the wild zone we may well leave to grow tall and fall over and become sort of follow their own natural cycle of living, decaying, and then regenerating themselves. But for us it feels right to have a blend of some hedge laying in our habitats and some areas that we leave untouched.